Networking is how we move information across from one computer to another or from one network to another network. Hi, my name is Adi. I'm a software engineer at Amazon. And in this video, I'm going to explain how networking works in a way I wish it was explained to me. So essentially, networking comprises of 7 layers, which are called the 7 OSI layers. The bottom layer is the physical layer, which is where you have, your fiber optic lines or your microwave towers, literally the physical infrastructure that moves data from one place to another. Next, you have the data link layer. So the internet is actually a network of networks. You have a home network, a school network, or a work network. And without the internet, you could still have the computers inside that network talk to one another. This is still used through something called switch boxes. This lets computers within the same network talk to one another. But if you want to communicate with an outside network, like Google's network or the internet, where it's like maybe Amazon's network and Facebook's network and all these networks, you need something called a router. Now, to interact with networks, you need to be able to identify which network you want to talk to, right? Like you need to know where's the address of this network. That's called the IP address. We used to be able to give every single network its own address using IP4, but we ran out of the method by which we make IP4. Like we couldn't make more IP addresses at IP4, so now we use IPv6, which we can now give like IP addresses to everyone. But we don't have to actually remember these like IP addresses in our head. We just remember the domain, like google.com, youtube.com, amazon.com. And the reason is there's something called DNS, which translates the domain into the IP address for us. Now we have the network layer, we have the data link layer, the physical layer, but we need to get information across, and that's going to be where we have our transport layer, where we figure out protocols on moving information across. There's TCP, which ensures all the information from computer A gets to computer B eventually. And it works for most cases, but for like video game streaming, where you want to see real-time information and you're okay with lag every now and then, you use UDP, which doesn't ensure information gets across, but it will shoot the information across. After that, you have a session layer, which is authentication. It makes sure that people that access your network are allowed to access it. Or when you access a network, you're allowed to. And if you're not, it stops you. And if midway through you accessing that network, you get your authentication, your access rights revoked, it kicks you off the network. Next, we have the presentation layer, where all this data encryption gets standardized. For the final layer, where we have the application layer, where our websites live through a protocol called HTTP, or emailing works through something called SMTP. And this is where we interact with like the actual world as users. Lastly, you just have to remember that latency is how quickly we get information, and bandwidth is how much information we get per second. And that's it. Networking is just moving information from one place to another.